Hello, gorgeous people of I Am the One. This is about to be one of the most transformational experiences of my career, and I already know that. Um, and I, I've, I've gotten so many clear messages about this experience. Give me one moment. Can you guys hear me? Okay. So the power that this program, we're going to call it this experience, the power that this experience has is that it is a result of multiple nudges that I've had from the universe. And I've listened to them. And every time I've listened to them, it's like I've allowed a little bit more of what Mother Nature, God, the universe were actually saying to me to come in. So every time I get the nudge to go in the direction that I'm going to be taking you in this program, I always have a limit that I feel it's like a should limit, don't, this is good. And in the past year, those limits have been pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed time and time again. And there was like a knowing behind that. It was this feeling like there's a big thing that I'm gonna receive, but it can't come while I'm only gonna give a little bit. Like I can't get it all if I can't give it all. And so it's been a test of my life to feel sometimes that little level of dissatisfaction I feel, sometimes even after like the most extraordinary program or, a master class or whatever it is ends. And I'm like, gosh, and even when people are saying, wow, this was incredible. And I feel once it's over that there was a little bit more and I didn't do it. But I don't know what it is. And it's like I got closer, but it's not all of it. It's a bit closer, but it's not all of it. And one of the things that I didn't realize was part of this was the way I sometimes show up and lead inside of spaces, which is sometimes the way that it should be based on what people expect from Alpha Femme. And so Alpha Femme has standards of beauty, standards of preparation, standards of professionalism and care that the outside world has mirrored back to me over the years. And there have been times where I haven't wanted to risk the expectation for the truth because it felt like I could do it with the expectation. There was a way, and if I could just figure out how to do it with, then I could do it. And so what's been really coming forward and been pushing in major ways, and like today has just been like the peak of that, especially up until like minutes before this call, is that I can't, not for this. And the only reason I've gotten this far with this realization is because I've followed as far as I could go with all the other spaces that I've held. And so this is like the compound effect of going as far as you can go. And so what I want to like model before I start this is that there's a difference between I failed before and I went as far as I could go. Because my promise that I've made myself along this way is that I will do this work. I will do it and I will not give up, but I will not model something that is not good for the world. And so if at any point it's as much as I can, then it's as much as I can, and that has to be enough. And it's like the deal I've made with Mother Nature, God, the universe, is that I will do my best but the limit is the limit until I can push it. One moment. So this program is probably one of the most meaningful of them all because I understand today why it circled back. There's a timing, there's the beautiful timing that often happens in my life where I'll abandon something, not realizing it, and a frequency becomes almost invisible for a moment until I'm ready to face it again. And then it comes back. And when it does, it'll show me little pieces of the puzzle. And then once I commit, it shows me the whole thing. And then it hits me like the full circle moment. So this is not going to be just like any other experience you've had with me. It's gonna differ in a few different ways. The first way it's going to differ is that the calls, whether you choose to come live or on the replay, the most important, how you're going to experience the live energy of this container is not necessarily just being live on the calls. It's going to be being live in the experience. So what that really means is listening to me while you're busy, but live will probably give you less than listening to me in full presence on a replay. I'm going to honor the call times and I'm going to show up in or around the call time, like what happened today, because I know that things are going to present themselves for me during this in a major way. And I'm also leaving the space open that if there's something I feel like needs to be a part of this and it needs to come in now, I won't wait for a live call. So I don't want you to feel like you're missing out in this in any way. If the call you make space for ends up being like this, and the call or the transmission that comes in later comes in and it's like, oh gosh, I wish I would have been live for that. It's like the live experience is the real one. It's not the one you need to be pressured for. It's not the one that you could miss out on. It's not the one that you could have missed. Like that's the thing about really understanding what being live in these experiences means with me. It doesn't mean that you need to be on the call. It means that you're living this program while I'm living this program. It's a living transmission. So live isn't just about I'm speaking in real time. It's about I'm completely connected to the entire thing. And so if you are completely connected to the entire thing, you are live in this container with me. So whether you catch this live or whether you catch something else I've done live or on the replay, it's the fact that you're connected to it and that you're feeling it in real time that's going to make this experience different. Kevin actually offered to say, should we reschedule today's call? Should we reschedule it? Because there was so much coming in before this call. And it was like, no, because this is probably a part of why this program is going to be so important, is the most real, vulnerable, truthful experience I can give you is the one that is going to give you the ability to come in the most powerful, honest, truthful version of you. Now, one of the things that is here for me, it was just present for me I want to share, is how absolutely grateful I am and how honored I am that my life has changed the way it has. And the biggest thing that has changed is that I give myself the space to feel. And it's so crazy, but when I think of a life that's filled with the wrong kind of pressure, a life that's filled with the wrong kind of stress, it's a life where you're so rushed, you can't feel. Now, I've been in all kinds of different rushes. I've been in rushes where I haven't had time to eat. I've had versions of my life where I was so in a rush, I didn't have time to pee. And I have been in rushes in my life where I haven't had time to think. But the worst of all the rushes are the rush where you don't have time to feel. Because you can't just decide to eradicate the feeling, you just postpone it. So feelings can't be dissipated if they're not faced or processed, they're just accumulated. And so what I really feel we're moving towards right now, and today is such an important day. This is another reason I'm giving myself so much grace today. Today's such an important day. There's a huge energetic portal. It's the end of a 13-year transmission, the beginning of another 13-year transmission. We're on the edge, on the verge, on a portal, in a threshold. Like, there is so much energetic duality in the universe right now. But I had an experience right before I came on here today with you that is almost identical to an experience that I had the last time my ability was tested massively. And so right before it was time to come on this call, and the call was like now, I had to go and take all my makeup off and take all of my stuff off and shower. The only thing I wasn't told was not to wash my hair. There was no say of that, but I had to shower and I had to wash everything off. And I really questioned that because it felt like the last time I did something like that and I trusted that, I opened myself up to be very vulnerable. And there were incredible things that happened, but also incredible consequences. And so it felt like fear and trust all at the same time. But I did it. I took a shower. They said, don't put your clothes back on. So I've got a towel around my waist and my robe. So this is like the naked call. And I can already tell in the comment section, some of you were there for me last time this happened. I think that a big part of why I get so stuck about trusting the nakedness is because of the expectation of what it feels like when I'm fully dressed. And so what that means is when I am truly empowered and clear and focused and my makeup's done right and my style is on point, there's a feeling of solid feeling that I give to the room that feels really calming. It's like we're taken care of. Melanie's got us. And I know that feeling, and I prefer that feeling. It's the one where I would prefer to be, because I would prefer to lead every space I'm in like I got you. But the thing is, I think that's a big part of what is incorrect with the world dynamics right now, is that if I only present myself when I've got you, then you only have the experience with me of being gotten. But you never experience the feeling that we're actually exactly the same in a lot of how we are. You don't get the feeling of you're okay if I don't have you in a moment. And you also don't have the feeling of you've got me, which I think is a very important part if there's going to be trust. Because it's not enough to just give your life to someone that has got you when you only see a fraction of who they are, and actually trust fully, 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 because you don't know who they are in the other half. It's like, I know you've got me when you're good, but what happens when you're not? What happens then? So this doesn't happen a lot, but when it does, my mind tends to want to tell me, don't go because they need you to show up a certain way. And what I've really seen is that that is true for the majority. Like, obviously, you don't join off of them programs to come and be my support group. That's not the point. But to know inside that you've got it is an important part of us being us. Or else it's not a relationship. You just get something and we'll be limited by how far we can go. But I don't love this part. It feels very, very scary and very vulnerable. And I think this is those moments where it's like, I can't recognize the difference between the bigger voice that says you're okay, be vulnerable, they've got this, and the voice that says go get naked, get in the shower, wash, and get on that camera as you are. That's the version of me that I like. That's not the version of me. That's the voice I hear where I know this is bigger than me. And I'm excited to get to the point where my own voice that would have said, it's okay, just show up, wouldn't have been so questioned. But because I'm connected to my guide and system, at least when I hear the voice, I know I'm not questioning it. And so there was a moment of fear, and then I just knew I had to just follow because I'm the one. It's like I'm the one that can take this container to a whole other level, and I'm the one that can limit it. I'm the one that can hold, and I'm the one that can be held. I'm the one that trusts, but I'm the one that can be trusted. I'm the one who gives it all or gives it almost all. I'm the one who holds it all together just in case, or I'm the one who does what's aligned. I'm the one. I'm the one that's going to hold this container the way I'm going to hold it for me, and you're the one that's going to hold this container the way you're going to hold it for you. In which case, I trust that if you were ever not enjoying something, then you just skip and watch the next module because there's going to be an abundance of conversations here. And if there's any of them you don't want to have, just don't have them. But I feel like the context of this is really important. And it only really started to hit me how powerful it is that I'm feeling the way I'm feeling on day one when I was so excited for this. And the thing is, I'm still so excited for this. But I didn't want day one to be like this. I wanted day one to be, you know, va-va-boom. But imagine if I cancel day one because it's not. And I think this is where I am the one really begins. It's like, am I only the one as long as I think I deserve I am the one? I am the one when I look the part? I am the one when the circumstances are perfectly aligned? Or am I still the one? Am I still the one, the guide, the powerful one, even when I'm soft on the outside, I am still powerful on the inside. Am I still the one? And there's a time in my life where, whew, just flashed you there. There's a time in my life where, taking care of myself would have meant canceling a call. But that's all in the feminine, and that does sometimes happen, that's required. And then there's also times where it's all in the masculine. You say, let me put my feelings aside because I need to do this no matter what. But the combination of the two things together is that I'm taking care of myself by not changing the truth because I think it's not enough. I'm taking care of myself by being here, who I am, not who I think I would need to be for you to value me, not who I think I need to be for this experience to actually land, not who I think I need to be in order for it to be better than this, because that's where I lose myself. It's in the mental jungle gym that has me try to control my life instead of live it. And so the truth is, I can do all the programs I do recorded. Like I could say on the best of my day, this transmission that's meant to come out, I'm going to sit, I'm going to do it right now because I'm at my peak and this is when it feels like the most true, and that's when I'm going to teach it. And then you would receive from me from my peak transmission. I can do that. In which case, it isn't necessarily a live container, but you are getting me at the peak of my peak live experience and you watching the replay. And I've thought about that sometimes. Like, would it be more valuable to people to not ever get this? And it's like, to a certain kind of person, yes. To the kind of person who's like, hey, chick, I don't really care about your dilemma. I bought a program for answers, so can you just get to the point? And then I asked myself if there's any part of me that is interested in having a room full of those clients for the rest of my life. And I said, no, because that's not what I do. Because this is not how I got here. I got here by understanding myself and feeling my feelings and working with myself, not against. Because I'm the only one that can actually treat myself the way I really need to be treated. I'm the only one that can allow myself to feel what I really feel. I'm the only one that knows for real how I feel. So if I bypass it, if I squish it, if I control it, then that's it. I'm the only chance I have to be free. And the thoughts that I would not be accepted only come from isolating the people I would not be accepted with in that moment. Forever and ever because I was honest? Maybe. Is it worth not doing because of that? No. Is it true that people will actually feel the truth of who I am and connect to the program and to me just as much, whether I am fully dressed with a hat on and the mascara and the smile versus when I'm fresh out the shower with a pile of snot rags? Yes. Is it true that some of those people might resonate with me even more? Yes. So is it worth doing it? Yes. Now, this is not me saying that I'm just gonna be crying on every module because it's not the truth. I pretend you're okay. So it's like either I'll cancel a call, either I'll replace the call, get someone else to do it, or I be here. And I got loud, 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 be here. So I'm going to do that. This is what really came through for me today. We are now in a world that is complex. Every person who's ever lived on Earth has lived in a world that is complex. It's not just simple. There's always something that you're working on, something that you're working with. I'm seeing people saying it's freezing. Let me see if I can. It's okay now? Okay, let me know if it happens again. We're living in a world that's complex. It's always been complex, but the duality that we're facing right now is pretty intense. And I'll tell you, I want to know if you have experienced this or if you found this, but I find that with so much of the world being automated, automatic, digital, there's a lot less compassion for the human. Like we're not realizing it fully, but we are being kind of programmed on computer speed. Like we're expected to have a relationship with time, not with timing, but with time, like with a clock, with an alarm. We are not really expected to have a relationship with like the sunrise and the sunset. We're expected to have a relationship with a schedule. In communication, it's less about the truth or the efficacy of the conversation. It's more about the speed, how fast you can come up with something, how fast There's a lot of stress. There's a lot of stress to get things done now, to answer now. And this rush feels like it takes over everything. This rush feels like it takes over time to think, time to feel. And so it's difficult to feel like I'm the one when the only thing I'm really feeling is I would be the one if I weren't so behind. If I had more time, I'd be the one. If I had taken care of all these things by now, I'd be the one. So I have to hurry to get these things done so I can start being the one. And so when I think about just life in general over the last few years, I've been in a lot of relationships with a lot of clients, with a lot of companies, with a lot of people. And what I found is that the line or the things that I've found have been very important to me inside of Alpha Femme, and the thing that I felt really important to model and to keep at the forefront were the feminine energetics, the faith, the space, the pace, the rhythm, the faith, the truth. Like that felt really important. And along the way, most of the suggestions that I got were suggestions I was told would impact the speed. Like, you're wasting time. You could do it faster. And whenever I checked with myself of all these things I could have done to do faster, like it would be faster, it would be more efficient, it would be faster. When I really measured it against the feeling of the frequency of Alpha Femme, it didn't fit. Because for me, faster but not better is not it. For me, faster but it causes stress is not it. For me, faster but requires a faster response and then a faster response and a faster response is also not it. And I've been really feeling this culminating truth coming forward. And there's been so many conversations happening in the world. And one very big conversation that I've been catching a lot lately is the conversation about AI and what's potentially coming in the future. And hearing a lot of the people in tech, especially the ones leading, talking about like, do we really need this many humans on the planet? You know, saying things like eventually there'll be more robots than people because they're more efficient. And then finding conversations with people saying, well, then what will be the purpose of human beings? And it's like, well, the ones who know the answer to that will move forward. And the ones who feel the rivalry with the robots, for lack of a better word, will end up probably living an artificial life. And it's like, what is an artificial life? Well, it's a life that is very connected to video games. It's a life that is very connected to ChatGPT. It's a life that's very connected to getting immediate gratification, something that can be fast. And it's also like substances and numbing. So a lot of addictive things in food, get people addicted to food, a lot of drug addictions, a lot of people addicted to a lot of things and just needing things and then just doing things to soothe the need. And those people will actually not even realize that they're trapped in that. They'll just constantly be running after more relief and more simulated progress. Like it looks like I advanced because I crushed level 765 on Candy Crush and I've just, you know, gotten a free pizza because I've ordered 12 and You get a free pizza after you order 12. So I'm eating free pizza while I hit level 768 on Candy Crush. And it's like, how much of this will move the world forward or move my life forward? Well, I don't know, but at least I'll be fine. And so there'll be a split world. It'll feel like the artificial intelligence will draw a line of who lives a life beyond just being robots on Earth and who lives a life below that line. And I think that what the world has a lot to gain from this split, because while everyone's fighting for equality but behaving differently, like some behaving like they're waiting for a solution while some are behaving like they're dying for the solution, while others living like they're forging the solution, while others are living like there is no solution, the line won't be based on the worth or the value of people as we know it. It'll become based on the worth and the value of people as they know it. Because they will act exactly in a way that will create a life below the artificial intelligence line or above the artificial intelligence line. And we've heard this so much. People are asking, like, how will humans matter after AI? And some people will be like, I've been asking myself the same question. And other people will be like, I could never ask myself that question. What do you mean? Can AI replace the love I feel for my child? And some people will say, yes, actually. I have been having great conversations about my mother in ChatGPT, and I feel like closer to her now with ChatGPT. I was okay, well, can you replace wellness and well-being? And it's like, well, yeah. I mean, I tell ChatGPT where I'm not feeling well, and I ask it to give me answers about why I might be feeling that way, and it blames everyone in my life, and I actually feel like my illnesses they have reasons, and I feel actually okay sick now that I have this, because I have all the answers of whose fault it is, and they all make sense, and yeah. He'll say, well, can AI replace your business, your passion? It's like, well, I've been doing way better in business since I've been putting all of my copy and all of my thoughts through AI. Everything that comes out's better than what I was saying. So yeah, like, AI has replaced my business. Can AI replace my love? Well, I write all my important messages to my husband through ChatGPT, and I'm pretty sure he does too. So our relationship is better since we have it. Like this is already happening. And so what does this mean? There's a difference between being supported by something and being erased by it. And people who feel like they can be supported by AI cannot imagine that it could take over. But the people who are already starting to feel like their thoughts, their truth, their expression, their relationships are better managed through an artificial intelligence system and really feel that, are definitely feeling the fear that one day humans won't matter. So it's like, is it the technology, or is it that the technology is pointing to something really important, which is that artificial intelligence helps me be the robot I'm expected to be. It helps me answer fast. It helps me make no mistakes. It helps me weigh everything I didn't see and respond in a way that nothing can go wrong. It gives me confidence. It gives me clarity. It gives me certainty. And then I don't overthink. If I receive something triggering, I input it into ChatGPT. It tells me what to answer. I don't have to feel. It helps me be more like a robot. Now, the issue with this is that the more everything in our world is powered on this speed, the more the speed feels like the norm. People are becoming more impatient than I've ever seen. I've been experiencing being spoken to like I'm a ChatGPT. Like, no, hello, how are you? I have a question. How is blah, blah, blah different from blah, blah, blah? From the beginning of Alpha Femme, what's always felt so important for me is the human connection. And that has felt to me like the most important thing. And I didn't really know why. But I remember when I first started hiring a team, my angle was I want that you can get a hold of Alpha Femme faster than you could, like not faster, like speed, but you can get a hold of a human more effectively than you could any other thing that's important in your life. Like I don't, the whole like your call is important to us. Please hold the line. Then you're there forever. And then someone takes your call and they don't know what to say, so they put you on hold again. And then it's like, press 1 for this, press 2 for that. And then you're somewhere else. And then, like, I just wanted real people. I wanted a feeling that when you have a question, you ask. You don't just disconnect from people entirely and be like, look, I should be able to figure this out myself in 2 seconds. I always had the feeling inside like, this is a place for humans to stay human. And this is way before AI ever existed the way that we know it right now. So what I'm seeing is that people want me to respond a certain way. They get disappointed, they get mad, they get frustrated, they have expectations of me around time that are not my expectations. They're their expectations. But when you're used to speaking to ChatGPT as your mentor and you suddenly get Melanie Ann Layer, I can tell you there's a very big difference. Because ChatGPT is designed to keep you asking questions nonstop. You could ask questions to ChatGPT all day and never end. You could copy and paste 1 million of the answers and still feel like you have more questions, and it prompts you to. When you get to the bottom, it says, just ask me something more and I'll help you find this. Would you like to ask me another question so I can help you find this? Would you like me to ask you another question? Would you like to ask me another question and I'll help you find that? Have you thought of this question you could ask me? Would you like me to answer this, this, or this? And it continues to prompt to ask questions. Now, this is actually showing a speed that is not normal for human beings. And it's not normal to be in a constant back and forth with no actual emotion or substance. But we've become this. And without realizing, there's places that I've swayed a little bit because people were like, I just want to know how long is the program? How many modules is it? What's in each module? And I'm like, I can answer that, and it will greatly devalue the program. Because then I'll have to give what I said instead of what comes up when we talk, which is what I believe the whole purpose of all of this. And so more and more, as I have stood for pressure, but not stress, I've been tested because people don't like to see people that aren't stressed when they're stressed. It bugs them. It's like, who do you think you are to not be stressed and to be successful and to have all these things? Like, I'm stressed. So you're stressed. Come on, answer the question, answer the thing. When is it going to be? My role in all of this, and I can really feel it, and it became so, it's just compounded and become so clear that this is a huge role for me in Alpha Femme as we move forward, is to slow down and help you hold pressure so that you don't speed up in response to stress. Because the rush is the problem for all of us, and it's what makes us outsource to AI, because if it needs to be done now, ChatGPT will write it in 2 minutes. But if it needs to be done right, then no one can do it like you, because you're the one. If you need to write a birthday card message that shows that you care and you need it in 2 minutes, you write it on ChatGPT. But if you want to write something because you care, you sit and you hold the pressure of not having the right words for however long it takes, because it matters. This makes me very emotional, because it's never felt this hard to speak this truth, because it rivals comfort like never before. I will hold the pressure. But I'm going to have to get a lot louder about certain ways that the world is. And like, one of the things that's not been existing in my world lately, as I've really lessened the pressure externalized, like the stress responses, and really more held the power from the inside, there's been a lot less things that I'm against, in all truth. I feel like even being triggered is a rush response. It's like you need to decide right away whether you're in danger or not. That's what a trigger is. And I think we create that in the way we rush everything else. So if I can assess the danger, if I can have a moment to be like, okay, this is happening. Am I actually in danger, or do I just feel bad? And I can actually hold the pressure of not feeling good for a minute. I can actually respond to the situation in a really powerful way. But if I'm in a rush to know how I feel, because there's no time to get caught up in anger, if I do that, all the anger I've been pushing is going to hit me at once and I'm going to pop. I need to just dismiss this or move away from it, or I can't feel that. I can't think about that. I can't face that. So we're pushing things, we're building up the stress inside, and it's blown up. And we're seeing it all over the world blowing up. People cannot hold pressure. They hold stress instead. They make it something that can be fixed faster instead of will. Do this fast. People are making mistakes in the world because they're making decisions too fast. They're deciding they're in danger right now, and they're making decisions based on that danger. And the thing is, it makes a lot of sense that there's a lot of risk in acting slowly. It's not a perfect system either. There's a middle, there's a momentum. But what tends to happen is when you know who you are and you have that compass of who you are inside, the speed adapts a little bit, because you're not making the decision on what people are going to think, or what you're going to get in trouble for, or whatever else. You're going to follow that internal state, which says, wait a second, wait a beat, or says, it's time. But it's time from a powerful place feels very different than quick, do it now, quick, or before this, or else this. When we're always reacting instead of responding to life, when we're always in this like, I'll be at peace when I've dealt with this, I'll feel satisfied when this is over, I'll feel successful once I've nailed this, we're in a hurry to get this done to feel the feeling we want to feel. So we're constantly speeding up the game. But what I'm starting to really see is like, this can be sped up so fast as long as we diminish the humanity. The bigger pressure that humans can hold doesn't really work the same in artificial intelligence. Most of the times when systems are down is because there's too much pressure on the system. So it blows up. So they find ways to shortcut things so it takes up less intelligence so that it can hold more, so it can be faster. But if we do this as human beings, we shortcut the information, we shortcut the intelligence in order to be able to hold more info so that we can act faster. We're taking out the largest files of the human consciousness. Like if I were to imagine the capacity of a human energetically, because this is energetics, like mental, emotional energy in the body and how we can hold that. If I think of like grief and how heavy grief is in the body, it's a huge file. It's a huge file. So when I decide I can't hold that file and be effective and I need to compress the file, I cause a lot of harm to the human inside of me. Maybe I'm more effective. Maybe I bounce back faster. Maybe I come back to work quickly. But how? Because I've got this compressed data that's actually extremely important for me to process, just like waiting to be processed. And what happens when you've compressed all this data over and over again, and now you've got all the compressed data is even too much? And so people are burning out even though they're compressing their feelings. It's not making a difference because they're just trying to do too much. They're moving their feelings not to not feel them, but to not feel them so they can do more. Like, I need to not feel this so I can do this. I need to not feel this so I can do this. I need to not feel this so I can do this. So what does that sound like? Does it sound like a human existent? Or does it kind of sound like becoming a robot? We have meetings scheduled nonstop. I can't be late. This can't take longer. I have something else right after. This needs to be fast. We need to hurry up because I have something right away after this. So I'm in a hurry, and I need you to hurry because if you don't hurry, I'm late. What makes Alpha Femme work for me and what makes me work in Alpha Femme is no rush. Like, the greatest victory is no rush. That's the greatest victory. If I was able to do everything that needed to be done on the frequency it deserved, and I did not let the outside world stress the timeline, that is the ultimate victory. So is it about not using AI at all? No. Is it about not using any kind of computers? Like, I'm not going completely to the other side. But what I am saying is you can recognize in your body when you're outsourcing your processes to something because it does it faster, more efficiently, without you thinking, feeling, messing up, to be sure that you don't have to deal with any of the things. This is where you start becoming less of you instead of more. It's good that the world is evolving, but the people have to evolve as fast as the technology, or else it's going to eat us alive. And what's been happening for a long time is that emotional intelligence goes down as artificial intelligence goes up, and it's going to create a line that people die underneath. They will bring nothing above what the computer can because they will genuinely believe they do not have the value. And we already see this. We already see this because people are measuring themselves against what they see on the internet. They're saying, I'm not as valuable as that person because that person got 600 likes on their picture and I got 100. We're already measuring ourselves against the data of humans. And this thing hasn't even started yet. The real humanity of it all. This is the thing that's actually the fight, is to fight for your humanity in a world that validates computer speed, intellect, perfection, knowledge, spelling. You are so important in this world. And the thing is, if people don't know that, they will get tired of fighting against the computer and eventually will give up that fight. And if they do know that, they'll realize there was never a fight against the computer. Because the things the computers can do have nothing to do with human beings. It's like, I can say with all conviction, if you want a fast answer, ask ChatGPT. If you want nonstop back and forth where you never contemplate the answers until you have a new question, go have a conversation with ChatGPT. But if you want to be able to hold the pressure of your feelings, if you want to speak with a real human, if you want to wonder whether you said it right or not, if you want to feel the feeling while you're waiting for an answer, the real humanity between people, then we can have conversations. If you need everything to be fast, if you need 7 steps that can be fast forwarded so you can press me on 2 times the speed, you won't get what you get when you actually stay in human speed with me. Like, I'll be the place where you don't need to rush. But if you rush me, you'll feel rushed with me. There's a way you can interact with Alpha Femme that just is. It's the same way I interact with Alpha Femme. It has a frequency of its own. You'll notice how many posts there are on my social media in comparison to how many posts they suggest you should have for social media. Sometimes I go weeks without saying anything. I document things because they matter, not because the algorithm tells me to. I don't want to rush, because if I rush, you will think you should rush. What I want to keep modeling for you is not just success, but success without the rush. Success where you actually feel it. And you're the only one that knows what that ratio is for you. So you can't copy this. And the thing is with ChatGPT, when you don't agree, you just tell it you don't agree and it will rewrite an entire answer for you. Whereas with a human, you tell it doesn't agree, it tells you what it believes in, you tell it what you believe in, you strengthen your own belief systems. You actually question. We're now in a place where people will say to me, I can't listen to you anymore because there's too much I don't agree with. That's the beginning of the end for us. I'll tell you right now. If you can't listen to something because you don't agree with it, that is your capacity shrinking by the second. I create my knowing of myself based on how I feel when people are saying things. I measure not based on resonance, but based on resonance and contrast. If I feel like I'm resonating, it's because I know what not resonating feels like. I don't want to ever lose the knowing of what those 2 things feel like with anybody. If I'm resonating 100% right now, brilliant, but at least I know what not resonating feels like. With artificial intelligence, they're taking that out. You'll notice it very rarely, if ever, says no. It says, I see. Let me rework. Let me reword. You're perfectly right. I see where you're pointing out. Let's go this direction instead. It's there to just soothe, but no, not strengthen. So how do we become stronger? because that's a question that AI doesn't really answer. And if it does, it answers it in, here are 7 steps, and here are 7 ways you can look at it, and here's all the ways I'm going to hijack your mind instead of actually having you experience the answer. And more what I'm seeing is clearly people's ChatGPT conversations are just ending up on the internet because it's a carousel that was clearly written by AI. So you asked AI a question, it answered you, you took the answer, you gave it to them. What value did you have in that bridge? And now confidence is falling. People feel like they're not valuable because they don't have purpose. Because the more you rush a person, the less they feel purposeful. The things that matter to us are the things that take the timing they take. You fall in love with someone, but they need to know right now if you want to marry them. That rush could break the relationship. You go on a date and someone needs to know right now if they're going to have a second date. It's like that rush could break everything. The rush changes the truth. So in order for us to have this conversation, there's a few things that I am putting down here, even more than I've ever put down in anything, and I want to invite you to do that as well. And the things that we've got to put down, number 1 is the rush. The rush to understand the program and to get everything that I'm saying, put it down. The rush to be there live for every single call and not miss a call, put that down. The rush to get past your feelings before a live call so that you can be in the vibe when you listen to it, put that down. The rush to get the information about the call and when it's going to be, put that down. The rush for me to show up live when it's like, oh, it's 12:05, 12:10, 12. I'm sure you have many things you could be doing right now, sitting exactly where you're sitting, where you avoid sitting a lot of the times because there's a million things to do. You could take this valuable time to do it. Notice how you are with impatience. Notice how you are with timing. Notice how you are with your own feelings. And it doesn't mean you have to agree that I'm not there. Just don't rush it because I'm not there. So see if you can address the rush in your body. See if there's something else that can be done. If we are going to change the speed of our nervous system, then the only thing we can do is change the speed of our nervous system. There is no external anything that's going to do this for us. So this is going to be a challenge for some people, and it's going to be the most beautiful experience for others. Either way, there's so much to learn. But here's what I know for sure. The majority of my wealth comes from having been the only person that wasn't in a hurry. When I sat with people and they were in a hurry to get more clients and I was not, Alpha Femme outperformed. When I was with people who were in a hurry to get paid by that particular client and Alpha Femme was not, Alpha Femme performed higher. When people were in a hurry to know exactly when everything was going to be and how and what's the structure in this, and I said, I'm not getting the sacral hit, ask me next week, Alpha Femme outperformed. Because there's a frequency that runs through it that is recognized by people who recognize themselves above artificial intelligence. The people who rush me the most are the ones that are comparing me to a computer. But they compare me to a computer because they compare themselves to a computer, which means I will not break through for them. They give themselves the same rushing as they give me. They want to do things in record speed, whereas I care about efficiency and not wasting time. Absolutely. But I care about the truth, the outcome, and the way that we get to the answer, not just the answer. I don't just want to know what to do. I want to know why. And that is usually an emotional experience. When someone says, okay, we need to do this, and I say, okay, why? and they don't have time to answer that, we don't have time to get into that. We just need to get it done. I know whether they're above or below the line, because for me, everything is why. So in this process, notice whenever you have a question that's about what or how, ask yourself why. Either why am I asking this question, or can I ask the same question by asking why? And if I did, would I just immediately know the answer to that question? You'll notice when little kids are fresh into their questions, they're often asking why. Why? Why is it that color? Why does that happen that way? Why are we supposed to do that? Why did that person do that? Why can't I do that? Why? And those questions get shut down eventually to how do I manipulate? Because I don't think that's a very good reason. So how do I need to behave in order to change your mind about why? Because I don't agree with the why. So how can I change that? How can I behave in order for it to be a yes? What can I do? But those are for low vibrational questions like, why can't I have cookies before bedtime? Because you won't sleep. Okay, well, what do I need to do to prove to you that I would sleep? How can I get cookies? So if I don't have any issues falling asleep and I practice, eventually you'll let me have cookies before bed? No. Okay, so then why then? Well, because it's also not good for you. Well, how can we make cookies that are good for me then? It's like, we can't. Why? The reason I'm looking for how or what is because I'm trying to get around the why. But when I'm asking really powerful why questions, they lead me to greater things. Yeah, but then you give them a protein cookie and they say, why doesn't this taste the same as the other things? Because there's protein in it. Why? Because protein is good for you. Why? How do we make a cookie that tastes exactly like my cookies without that? Well, you can't. Why? Because good things have different flavors than things that are good for you. Why? It's a really great question. Eventually, when you eat this, you'll think it's delicious. Why? Your taste buds will change. Why? But if they ask you, how do I change my taste buds? How do I change my taste buds faster? What do I need to do in order to change my taste buds? Ask ChatGPT. So, why makes you slow down? And I want you to slow down in this program. Don't come in here like you're going to learn a 7-step program. It's like the experience is shaping the context and the content have to be together. This isn't just a content program. You could not chat GPT this. And this is what's going to make mentorship and coaching survive in the future, because a lot of people are saying coaching industry is going to die because of chat GPT. And it's like, the coaching industry that will die is the coaching industry that gets manipulated by Rush, because chat GPT will always be faster. And it will be better at being faster. So what will survive is a pace that's not valued by the majority of the world. It's taking a minute. It's sitting with your feelings for a second. It's maybe the question changes if you sit with it long enough. Let's go with the discussion. Let's go with the humanness. Let's go with the feeling you feel when you know you're actively working on the right thing, instead of the feeling you feel when some machine told you what the right thing is. Let's go with holding the pressure instead of handing it to a machine. Let's see what we can do in this space. Doesn't mean I'm against AI completely. I think that there are cool things about it, but I would see it more like we're not using it responsibly. We're outsourcing to it. That's my red flag. Being supported by something and outsourcing is totally different. And so to embody I am the one, we want support without outsourcing. It's not wise to say, I don't want to be supported because eventually I'll outsource, because that means not working on myself. It means just seeing the thing as the threat, but anything could be a threat at that point. The real answer is I cannot be replaced by a machine, and I'm going to act like I know that. Instead of, I'm sure this would be said different. I'm sure this would come up with a better idea, a better thought, a better process, a better way. And notice how fast you are to just open it instead of sitting with the pressure. People want to know what I'm paying for by how fast. How long is it going to take? How much time? I don't care about the hours you use. I care about the hours you lose. You don't remember your life when you spend it mindlessly scrolling. I don't want to give you so much content. I want to have a conversation with you. I want to stretch the time people fast forward. And so if you listen to me when you're rushed, it won't land. You've got to listen to me like I'm your friend and we're talking about really important things, and you could have all afternoon with me if you need it, because that's how I'm going to mentor in this space. It's not about how fast can we get the point in. It's about how deep can we get the point in. And I promise you that if you can slow down in your life, this program will have impacted so much just by this first call. Just notice how much you let the world rush you, how fast you think you need an answer, how fast you think people need responses. And sometimes it's true. I've been very disappointed to see certain people that I thought had a lot of power put the kind of pressure on me that I would expect from a new entrepreneur. People who claim to have held the pressure of so much, who've literally harmed our relationship by trying to manipulate me into going faster. I'm not a tool. We need to stand for that. And I promise you, you will earn more. You will have more real relationships. You will feel more respected. You will feel you matter more if you can live without being rushed. Because the rush comes from a nervous system fear that if I don't get this done fast enough, if I don't respond fast enough, if I don't make it, if I can't go, if this doesn't work out, I'll be less valuable. They won't believe me that I care. They won't this, they won't that, they won't this. It's not the truth. It's the way the world has started to operate is, come on. And the only way we can stand for it to not be lost in that is for us to live happily on a different frequency. And the fact is, when I am in a rush, I make mistakes the most. And I've made fun of this for years, but it is when I am the most in a rush that I will poke myself in the eye with my mascara. Right when I need to be ready in 5 minutes, I will stab myself right in the eye with my eye pin. This is when my hair won't curl in the right direction. It's when I end up knocking the milk over while I'm making my coffee. It's when I answer the wrong thing because I didn't read the thing properly because I was in a rush to answer. It's when I said yes fast without considering there was something else on my agenda that day. The mistakes that actually cause the most detriment to my life, I make rushed. So when I'm able to be clear about who I am, feel grounded in myself, that's actually when I'm the most efficient. And the speed that we think we're looking for actually becomes accessible, but it's the correct speed. It's being in the zone. So if you can imagine, like, we're playing ping pong together, well, ChatGPT could probably simulate a game where we're going, but how long could we play that game before getting bored? It's like, this is a perfect ping pong hyperspeed match. There is no flaw. Like, we would get bored eventually. But if I'm not focused and I'm stressed and I'm in my head and I feel pressure and all the things and I can't handle the pressure and I'm stressed, I'm going to try to hit the ball quick. I'm going to try to do it properly and I'm going to end up feeling less focused and I'll hit the ball too soon. I'll get off rhythm with the timing, and then you'll feel frustrated that I don't hit the ball properly and it keeps going on the floor. I have to pick it up and we have to start again and the game is taking forever and there's no momentum. That's what happens on the other side. So the idea is for us to get in a real human rhythm that is backed by energetics, vision, focus, power, and all of a sudden it'll be like, all of a sudden we'll find our rhythm. It won't come by rushing getting better. It won't come from making no mistakes. It won't come from pressuring myself to be perfect. It'll come from holding the pressure of waiting for the ball to arrive where it needs to be and hitting it at that perfect thing and finding that rhythm. And then we'll be in the flow. And in that moment, I'll actually hit the ball so many times in a row and it'll feel satisfying. So you do end up operating with a good pace, but you operate with rhythm, not just speed. You know, you'd rarely say, I love the speed of this song. It's like, I love the rhythm of this song. If it's fast paced and it's awesome, cool, but you still wouldn't say, I love the speed. You'd say, I love the rhythm. Because there's something about rhythm that syncs up to the body. There's something about speed that occurs outside of the body. It's like fast needs to not involve you entirely. Rhythm is as quick as you can sync yourself to be. It's a real rhythm. So rhythm, momentum, timing, these are human experiences. They're lived experiences. They're alive experiences. This is what I want to lean into during this program. So for sure, there's going to be questions coming up. And it's going to be normal for your first instinct to be like, Melanie, how would you address this? What would you say about that? Melanie, what are your thoughts on this? While I'm still speaking, even those questions will come up because this is the part of us that either needs to sit with a question and contemplate it or ask it right away. And so what I'm going to ask of you is that when you're listening to this program, don't take a bunch of notes. If you feel like you want to take notes, take them later in the game. Like watch it again in a few weeks. What I would suggest is have a notepad. And if you feel you have questions, write them on the notepad. After the call, sit with them. Ask yourself, see, why am I asking this question? And what would happen if I asked this question with a why? And then if you still love the question and you want to make it a public question, post it in the group where other people can come in or where I can see it and either I know your question will be answered at some point during the training or this is a question of the mind. It's not even it's not important for where we're going in the program. It's a cool question to contemplate, but you don't even need it for the program to work. Anxiety is at an all-time high on the planet. I hold a lot of feelings. I hold all my feelings and I hold the feelings of a lot of the women that I'm mentoring. A lot of them right now are going through really difficult times. There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of things. My clients are from all over the world. Their families are from all over the world. They're experiencing all kinds of different things, from health to fear to war to politics to marriage things, kids things, mental things, emotional things, grief, like, and that is what the whole world is navigating, is all people going through something all at the same time. But some people dealing with 3, 4 things at one time, and some people dealing with this huge thing, and some people dealing with 3, 4 things that they feel like they should move. And like, what do we talk about? What do we think about? What do we move? What do we push? What do we change? What do we... Slow down your need to move through the thing that stresses you. Slow down your need to fix the thing that's hurting you. I know it's there. But you will become more powerful when you slow down. When you can look at things objectively, not like someone else has an answer to get rid of it fast, but like there is an answer. It is available. You are supported. You are okay. And you can get there. It's going to be okay. And if it isn't okay, it'll stretch your capacity. And there will be a day at some point in the future where out loud from your mouth you say, I became a greater person because of that experience. I guarantee it. You are the one that is going to create this life. You are the one. You are either going to lose yourself in the speed of the world, the expectation of perfection, and the promise of perfection and speed, or you will honor your humanity, you will honor your rhythm, you will honor your truth, and you will be one of the people that stand above the artificial intelligence line that cannot be replaced, that can't be swayed, that can't be manipulated, that can't be shamed into losing their rhythm for speed, their truth for perfection. Because when we can all be swayed that way, we will all be below the line of artificial intelligence. There will be no point. So above that line is the real stuff. Stay above the line. What I want to know for you in this program is like, you know that you're the one for certain things. You're the one for your kids. You're the one for your partner. You're the one for your business. You're the one for your life, your health, your joy. There's so many things that you are the one for. Where do you get swayed the most in trusting that? It's like, I believe I'm the one until there's a conflict. Then I think I need to find the answer somewhere else. I believe I'm the one until someone questions me. Then I immediately worry if I'm wrong. And I act too fast. This is what I really want you to contemplate. And you don't need to post it in the group if you don't want to. You can anchor it in here if you want. But just notice, like, where do I not... I feel the stress of being the one without feeling the trust that I am. Because ultimately, I think this is what makes us be less than we could be in this lifetime, is like, I feel the pressure of being the only one that can be me. But I don't understand the beauty of it. So I keep thinking there's a way I could be me wrong. It's like, but if you're the one, you hold all the keys. It's like, well, let me ask ChatGPT. Let me just make sure it's perfect. Let me just make sure it's this. I am the one. I go first. Mother Nature, God, the universe respond. A lot of this AI is a response to our fears, a response to our need for perfection, our response to our need for speed. But we're losing the ability to know that it's a tool, and it's becoming, in a lot of instances, what you think is better than you, would know better. I want you to practice leaving discussions with questions still. This is one of the ways ChatGPT is really, really, really messing up with adult minds, is there's always another question. So at what point do you decide this is the question I'm leaving unanswered for today? Because there'll always be one. What's the question you're left with? And can you hold the pressure of not knowing? Instead of the addiction to one more question, one more answer, one more question, one more answer, one more question, one more answer. What's going to really change the game here in this mentorship with me is that it's going to become a discussion mind instead of a Q&A mind. Back to humanity, back to connection, back to expansion instead of ping pong. Discussions that are not just quantified by, did you get the steps you needed in the allotted time you had? And more so, did this make me feel? Did this stretch me? And am I left with a question I can hold the pressure of? Because this actually makes you more powerful than the thing you think you need. We're taking the power and we're putting it back into the humanity. We acknowledge that there are so many powerful things, so many powerful tools, but we use the tools. They don't use us. And as soon as your mind changes based on how the tool is built, the tool is using you. Stay with yourself. Feel your feelings. Don't rush anything. Just try it. I want to thank you for being here. And I really want to thank you for the beginning of this call, which I feel was necessary for the speed and the momentum of the rest of the call. Because had I come in a different energy, I would have talked about the same things, but not the same way. And so it's like, can I trust that the wave that hit me before is not something that I'm supposed to fix? It's something that creates a rhythm that's also valuable. And if I would have tried to change the rhythm because I thought it was not valuable, I would have probably broken the connection just by thinking that I needed to be a certain way for you to enjoy the space, or for you feeling there was something off and not knowing what. It's like there are different rhythms of me and they are all valuable. Will actually get us closer to the truth. Then let me process this fast so I can be what I think people need from me. The people who cannot be rushed are the ones who will outperform artificial intelligence, because it will all be based on speed addiction. Attention span is shrinking. People need the dopamine right now. So if you can actually not fall into that, you will be a part of what thrives in the future. Thank you. I look forward to seeing how the energy unfolds in the experience for me, for you, for us. Let it be. And I'll see you on the next module.